Basic Architect. Yeah, we're out here at our Build Show Build Boston site. Give you one guess what we're going to talk about today. Possibly cabinetry. All right. So you can see a bunch of cabinetry's in. We have a bunch of protection here, but like I tell you in some of my other videos, yeah, we're going to take a walk through here when we have all the countertops in and everything's covered up. But then you're going to have questions about, hey, how did you do that? Hey, how did you do that? So if we do a video where we're showing you the guts of the decisions, then we'll do the finished video and show you how all of this stuff will get covered up and it'll disappear a little later, but you'll have an understanding of how we got to that finished stage and how we were able to do something like get a full-size refrigerator in and make it look like a counter depth refrigerator, right? So, anyways, cabinetry. You can see it behind me. We have a couple wall cabinets that are going to go up there, but you can see it's all walnut. It's a walnut veneer. We acquired this from Roseburg, so they have a full line of hardwood veneered plywood that we use. It got shipped up to my good friend Jeff Model, and if you haven't seen it, I did a video where we were taking a walk around his cabinet shop, and they were actually making these and finishing these exact cabinets the day we were there. So you get a whole sense of how this all got made. I talk about the refrigerator panels, why we were there, etc. So go check those out, or check out that video. And next step, cabinets got delivered. Obviously, the frames have now been installed. The finished parts haven't, and we're going to talk about that. But quick layout of the kitchen. So we have this. This is more of the utility wall. We have the refrigerator. We have some above fridge storage, a simple wall cabinet, base cabinet. We'll have countertop in there. And then this is what I call the oven tower. Now, I call it the oven tower. In this case here, we're going to have double ovens. It might be an oven and a microwave. It could be a steamer and a microwave, or an oven and a steamer. You know, go check out at your appliance place. I tell people, they're like, hey, what should we do? I said, the first thing you should do is go to a really good quality appliance store, and you're going to be amazed at what kind of options are available there. Now, here we chose a GE line, so they're all GE appliances. My dad would be proud because he was an employee of GE for well over, I don't know, like 36 years, 37 years. So he was always GE this, GE that. But anyways, this one here, we just have a standard double oven. We have the microwave is behind the island. We have an induction cooktop. We have what looks like a very simple GE range hood, and it is. It's very modest in appearance, but for those of you not aware, this is their very latest generation, like pre-production. We got one of their units that we're testing out for them out here. I can't, unfortunately, tell you what the difference is between this one and the generation that's in production now, but I will tell you there is some really cool stuff happening underneath the hood, if you will. So let's talk a little bit about cabinetry. So, like I said, these are walnut cabinetry. If you remember from the cabinet footage, all of the plywood has what I would call, or what the industry calls, the A side and then the BC side, right? So the A side is the premium side. That's the side you want to see. That's the side that gets exposed, right? Obviously, this is absolutely gorgeous, right? It's walnut veneer here. You can see we have the piece here. One of the things that I despise in cabinetry is having a 3/4 inch face on my refrigerator panels. It just looks wimpy. And by the time you come out the 2 feet, it's really not stiff. You can take it and you can wiggle it back and forth. It's a horrible condition. I hate it. I will never do it. I will fight tooth and nail, and it really has to be a a client that I highly respect to go down that road because I just won't do it. You know, you could see here, this is that thinner, and you can see there's movement here. There's no movement here, right? When I try and move that. So how did we establish that? Well, notice here, we have the 1.5 inch face, but that 1.5 inch face only goes back for about 10 inches. And then it recesses in. And then it just becomes that singular panel there. And also notice, this is the A side, right? This is what you want to see. Notice the different color variation there and the lines of the veneer. That is the B side or C side, right? And you can see that's where we're screwing into. That's basically the stuff that's going to get hidden. You'll also see that on the inside of the oven tower. But we get an A side for that first 10 inches. So what we've done here is we're able to slide the refrigerator in. And once the refrigerator is in, you're going to look down here. You're only going to be able to see in maybe 1.5 inches or so. And then it'll get lost to that corner. Now, the other beauty of this is 10 inches in, the refrigerator has a little wiggle room. So as I'm trying to manipulate it and get it perfectly set so I get the proper reveals here, I have a little bit more latitude on the inside because the opening in here is 1.5 inches larger than the opening here. And what we did here was, if you notice inside, and I'll actually climb in here, notice that the refrigerator panel goes to a certain depth, and then we have a recess in the wall. Now behind me is a closet in the mudroom that we developed this recess. What this allows for is, now we're not restricted to a counter depth refrigerator. We can put the full depth, full size refrigerator in here, but we can push it all the way back into there so that it looks like a counter depth refrigerator without being a counter depth refrigerator. We have some associated cabinetry up above there. Like I said, we have this, we have the oven tower here, and if you see on this side here, you can see what I'm talking about, you know, the A side and then that BC side, right? So you can see it there. Just like the refrigerator panel, you can see here, Jeff has taken it and reinforced this to the 1.5 inches by adding another piece. And you can see there's a little lip there as my fingers disappear. So it's double wide for the first 4 inches, and then it goes to that single width. And then that just gives us some rigidity to put that double oven in. Now, a couple things to notice. Notice that here, all of this is flush, but it has the little 1 inch face here. And it's the same thing that's happening here. We have the frame of the cabinetry and then we have that face. Well, that's because we have a flush door system that's going to go on here. So once the face of the hinge doors get put on here, then they're going to be flush with the outer edge of that refrigerator panel. As we move across, obviously our kitchen island, we have a couple legs. We'll jump around the other side and talk about it. But on this side here, the homeowner, rather than have a built-in microwave, he just wanted a microwave shelf. So it's got a little bit of a lip on the inside. We got power in there, so you can put your microwave in. It's on the blind side from the living space. You know, I'm always torn about these because I've done kitchens where people want the fully integrated, you know, custom microwave. The problem is when the microwave craps the bed in 6 or 7 years, you have to buy another microwave that's exactly the same size, or you have to have the cabinet maker make a new face frame and then appropriately finish it to the same color as the cabinetry is happening there. And it just becomes a really big challenge that unless it's exactly the same size, it doesn't really work for you. So the shelf option allows you to just get a microwave that fits inside that shelf. And if that one craps out, then you buy a new one that fits inside there and it sits inside there. Just put it in a space where it's not highlighted on the wall for all to see there. In this case here, it'll be down there. Now, you can see we have a number of different styles here. And notice that face frame, just like the refrigerator, that comes out. right? So when Jeff and guys are putting their drawer fronts on, the drawer front will get placed on the face of this and screwed in from the back side, so that when it closes, and notice, just like our pocket doors, these have soft close, that when it closes, the door will then flush up to the face of frame here. The other thing about these, drawers, they're on full extension glides, and what that means is that the back of the drawer comes out flush with the face of the frame. It doesn't stop at 70% or 60%. It comes out 100%. So when I open the drawer, I can see the back side of the drawer. Those are full extension glides. And according to Jeff, you know, on some of these bigger drawers, like when you pull it all the way out, like this is rated to carry a couple 100 pounds. At least those glides are. And you can see these are all soft close. Obviously, that one needs to get adjusted and move a little faster. But we have our series of drawers. A lot of, the latest trend is, I think people prefer drawers a lot more than they prefer cabinet doors. So in some cases, we have, cabinet doors, but if we come around here, you'll see here, even when we have cabinet doors, we'll have drawer inserts on the inside that come out as a full extension. And that allows you to put, spices or jars of stuff in the back of the cabinetry that I don't have to bend down and reach in. I'm bringing all that stuff out to see, and then that goes in, and basically the door will close in front of those pull-out drawers there. Over here, you'll see we have basically three, what I would call specialty areas. We have the double cabinet here, and you notice there's a well cutout. Well, that's because we have a 60-inch kitchen sink that's pretty much going to fill this whole void here in front of the picture window. So that gets cut out so that we can get that installed in there. This cabinet that has nothing in it will eventually get a set of hardware. This is a pull-out for two 13-gallon trash buckets, right? So you can use one for trash and recycling. I've done houses where we've done two of these next to each other, so you have two for trash, two for recycling. We've done these in mud rooms before where they're just used for recycling to get rid of, paperwork and stuff, junk mail, so you don't bring it into the house. But that's what you're seeing there. Standard cabinet. We have our standard wall cabinet here, and you can see this actually has a little lip under here. You can see my fingers hide. And the reason for that lip is we're going to have under cabinet lighting under all of those lights. You can see we have our little whip in the wall there that the electrician will then go in, and there's probably about 18 inches of wire that is just flailing in the wall system there that he'll pull that out. And then for the cap, I wanted to do something very simple. So we took the standard 1-inch frame and we just did a really simple cap on the top there. So when the doors close, we get a little, 3/16 inch reveal on the system. But it's just a nice kind of topping finish to that. Moving down the side here, you can see these are just labeled temp. These are just some temporary bars that the cabinet installers install. This is where the dishwasher is going to go, right next to the sink. They just put these in. They're already cut at the shop. They're labeled. They come out with the cabinets, and the cabinet shop has verified the width of the dishwasher, so they cut these appropriately so that we know that all of these things are going to work. And then we finish this off with just another standard cabinet. Now this will have a drawer front up on top, and then it'll have a door down below, again with the pull-out trays, right? And then that finishes on the wall here. Now, one of the things that was important early on was the fact that we wanted to make sure that all of our electrical was falling into place, or just falling into an area that we would deem a successful approach, right? So like this cabinet here, the thing that I was concerned about was we knew we were going to have a large gain switch operation here and outlet operation. So we didn't want this falling, you know, having the cabinet fall somewhere in the middle here. So if we did a tile backsplash, it would come up and then it'd be like, okay, do we include it? How do we do that? You want to make sure that the cabinetry always comes out and there's some space. So if we chose to do that backsplash, then that outlet would be fully encompassed inside that tile backsplash. And we have a little, you can see this is the whip. It's just a slang term electricians use. It's wound up in the wall. So when we have a wall cabinet that goes here, that'll be for that under cabinet lighting. If we come around here, a couple things you'll see. So I have these legs, they're covered, but they're about 4 inches. And so they give us a nice bulky look. They give us a nice sturdy platform to put our countertop on. But more importantly, you can see we have our wire in there. And so what the electrician will do is he'll come just inside the leg here and they'll cut out, or they'll have the finished carpenter cut out for the electrical box, and then they'll wire it up. And that 4 inches of legs gives us a place to hide that outlet. So there's, you know, an outlet on each side of these legs. It's required by code that the island has it, and we want to put them very close. You notice also we have 4 sets of cabinets here. These are shorter, they're just wall cabinets. So we have our standard 24-inch depth. On the other side, we have 10-inch depth. On this side, these will have all adjustable shelving, but the countertop will come out, you know, about 14 inches over the face of this and cover it. So that's basically under the seating. So that is really storage. I would call it seasonal storage. Like you're putting stuff in there that you don't use all the time. Maybe it's a special set of wine glasses or something, or dishes that you pull out for different parties, or it's your grandmother's fine china, whatever your story is. I mean, everybody's got a story, but that's kind of the cabinetry. You're not putting an everyday box of cereal or spices in there that you're always asking people to move out of the way. It just gives you that added storage in the kitchen. Lastly, you can see here, this is our sample. If you're wondering, that is the countertop. It's a quartz countertop. It's in basically an inch and about an inch and a quarter. So, but that's what we're going with for the countertop in here. I was talking a little bit about the electrical. If you want to come around here, you can see, you know, I do all kinds of different drawings. This one, these were just basically electrical schematics for the electrician. And it's basically just telling them, hey, you know, your electric boxes, I want them 40.5 inches off center so that they can be centered on the cabinetry up above. And as we go through here, you know, this is just giving you a quick plan of, we have our induction cooktop, we have our countertop with the microwave or island there, the 60-inch sink, oven tower, refrigerator, etc. And then again, you know, just more about where are these different outlets located so that we know that they're centered in the wall when we go to put the actual tiles together. And of course, you know, a lot of this information is in the floor plan too. So you can see the whole layout there. You can see the recess of the refrigerator. Inside there, the oven tower. The one change we did make is that homeowners wanted the dishwasher on the right side of the sink later in life than where we originally had it. And we also took this edge of the cabinetry and slid it down about another foot. And the whole reason is that we wanted to be able to get some upper cabinetry up there to help frame that window. And you can see the kitchen, we have the doorway there. It leads right into a nice working pantry. We have a door here that can park on the wall so that you can run in and out. Some nice 14-inch shelves, a second refrigerator in there, But, you know, I think a very successful layout. It's a nice bright open room. I got views out there. I got views out the dining room window looking. The front door is right to my right. So it's, I would consider it a very successful room. So anyways, that's our kitchen video. Stay tuned. We will come back and when all the doors and all of that stuff. You know, people say, well, why didn't you put the doors on there? You got to remember, between now and occupancy, the electrician's got to come. They have to finish their work. The plumber's got to come, hook up the sink. You have all these guys. The last thing you want to do is put finished doors on this and have those guys rubbing up against it with their tool belt on and their tools and hammer and stuff hanging off of there. You know, the whole thing about construction is it's done in such a sequence that you try and minimize risk, right? So you put in only as much as you need in the process or in the sequence until those people that put you at risk are done with what they do, and then we'll come in and we'll put in the drawer fronts, door fronts, all of that. The countertops will go in, the kitchen sink, all of that slated for the next week or two. So anyways, stay tuned. I'm Steve Basic Architect. This is the Build Show Build Boston site. And until next time, long live our buildings.